Hello, my name is Jeff Peacock. I'm a pastor at Somerset Bible Chapel in southern Manitoba. I wanted to share the following video with you in hopes of it making a difference in our efforts here to bring peace and safety in a situation that's woefully short of both. One of the things that we've been told ceaselessly over the last number of years is that our current government and Canadians are compassionate, caring, and welcoming, in particular to refugees, that we as a society value these things highly. I share this compassion and care for the poorest and most vulnerable in our world. We live in an affluent and prosperous culture. There are millions upon millions of people around the world who are hurting and in need of the things that we simply take for granted in our day-to-day lives: clean water, safety, food security. Because we share these values, our church here in Somerset, and along with two sister churches in McGregor and Gladstone, began a project to serve and support a refugee family to come to Canada through the Refugee Sponsorship Initiative of our Association of Churches. John and Jane Doe and their 4 children are Pakistani nationals who fled Pakistan because of intense threats to them and their family. In fact, John's father was threatened with death, along with the entire family. Hoping to stay in their homeland, they made every effort to avoid danger, but danger came to them one night, nevertheless. And John's father was viciously beaten by religious zealots who did not want them to be able to believe and practice their Christian faith. The same people who attacked John's father threatened again to kill John, Jane, and their family. When the zealots returned to their home with weapons and further threats of violence and death, John and Jane and their children fled for their lives. Eventually, and after much fear and uncertainty, ending up in a nearby country that is incredibly dangerous and unsafe for them, but where they are for now, unknown. We met John and Jane through mutual friends 7 years ago. We began our efforts to support them as a refugee family and have gone through every step the Canadian government has asked us to go through. Our committee has done an incredible amount of paperwork, has put in countless hours of volunteer time to meet all of the requirements that Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, the government agency that is responsible for refugees, has asked us to fulfill. After submitting their sponsorship applications to the IRCC in December of 2019, John and Jane were told that the next step would be an in-person interview. For 9 years, they have been living in a one-room apartment with their 4 children, in a city where leaving that apartment poses a serious threat to their safety. They hoped for a quick turnaround from our compassionate and refugee-welcoming government. COVID, of course, hit in 2020, and that certainly created many new challenges for John and Jane's application process. They waited 2.5 years for an in-person interview. They had their interview last spring and waited another year to hear anything from the government about their status. Let me say that again. They heard nothing regarding the outcome of that interview from our government for over 1 year. This is inhumane treatment of a family that was forced to flee their home because they refused to convert to Islam, that has lived for nearly 10 years now in a single room, unable to legally work, unable to attend school, unable to simply buy groceries without the fear of being arrested, and who have done everything they can to come to Canada. They have been asked to continue to wait without communication, suggestion of hope, or even confirmation of progress for over 3.5 years since submitting their refugee applications. As the sponsoring group, we have fulfilled every single requirement that the IRCC has of us. The applicants have fulfilled every obligation required of them. They wait in poor health that continues to deteriorate due to unimaginable stress, uniquely challenging and unsafe living conditions, and without basic communication from the government that holds their future. What I want to know is when we can expect our government to fulfill its moral and ethical obligations to us to address and respond to this simple and straightforward refugee application. We have done our job. The refugee family has done what is expected of them. Why can't our government do theirs?